Hello, my name is CFoster, and my book presentation is The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. John Maxwell has 30 plus years of leadership training to Fortune 500 companies, the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, and sports organization. After writing a number of books and speaking at various conferences, a question someone asked him, and I quote, "John, I love the book, I love the principles, but what do I do now?" As John thought about it and asked his team to brainstorm, they decided to create workshops providing for individuals who was interested in applying. People want to learn how to apply his leadership principles effectively, and they soon started. The John Maxwell Workshop, which has been a huge success, where people will learn the principles, but most and foremost, apply. I also was appreciative that John shared the good, the bad, and the ugly. He shared his mistakes as well as success that he made within his own leadership, business, politics, sports, religion, and military conflicts. And he highlighted everything rises and falls in leadership. Being in the corporate world myself for at least 30 years, I have experienced firsthand how critical leadership decisions are. When a great decision is made, that affects from the top of the ladder to the bottom, and everyone benefits. So I'll be sharing out of the 21 laws in this book, I'll be sharing a few of my favorites that will help me benefit my leadership skills. These laws I'm sharing, I continue to work on as a leader. Though all 21 are very effective, every individual has their own unique leadership skills and style. The first one is the law of the lid. The second one is the law of influence. And the third is the law of empowerment. The law of the lid, Mr. Maxwell shares, is the most important principle in leadership we will ever learn. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. The lower the person's ability to lead, the lower the lid of potential. If your leadership rate is 8, then you can be no greater than a 7. If your effectiveness of leadership is a 4, then your effectiveness will be no higher than a 3. Your leadership ability, for better or for worse, always determines your effectiveness and potential impact of your organization. Brothers Dick and Maurice, straight out of high school, decided to open a theater and was very unsuccessful. So they never gave up. They decided to open a small drive-through restaurant where people started to be more dependent on cars and liked the idea that customers were being served by car hops with bringing food to their cars. In 1940, the brothers decided to change their menu and build a larger facility. In 1948, they reduced their menu and focused on selling hamburgers. The brothers' goal was to start an assembly line and get orders out within 30 seconds. Who were these brothers? They were Dick and Maurice McDonald, the Golden Archer. However, they did not have the ability to lead. Their weak leadership put a lid on their ability to succeed. Came along Mr. Ray Kroc, who partnered with the brothers and started using his leadership skills, sacrificed many hours, and hired the most smartest, sharpest people he could find. And eventually he bought the rights from the brothers to the franchise to use it as a model to sell other franchise. Today, the company has opened more than 21,000 restaurants in fewer than 100 countries. The second is the law of influence. Two very different women. In the late 1997, two women less than a week apart died. One tall, young, and glamorous princess from England, and the other a Nobel Peace Prize recipient. She was small, elderly, a Catholic nun born in Albania, and served the poorest of the poor in Calcutta, India. But their impact was very similar. In 1996, poll by the London Daily, Princess Diana and Mother Teresa were voted first and second as the most caring people. That doesn't happen unless you have a lot of influence. How did Diana and Mother Teresa demonstrated such a high regard? Well, they knew and understood the power of the law of influence. For Diana, early in her marriage, she was very shy, and reports state she wasn't very happy performing her royal duties. She continued to travel and represent the royal family, but she quickly made it her goal to serve others. In 1996, she divorced Prince Charles, lost her title, but she continued to increase in influence while the royal family's attention declined. Diana understood the law of influence. During her funeral, an audience of 2.5 billion watched, which is more than twice the number of people who watched her wedding. Leadership is influence. Princess Diana and Mother Teresa described as a leader, but made things happen because of their influence. Leadership is influence. A true leadership cannot be awarded. It must be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes from influence. It must be earned. The only thing a title can do is buy time, either to increase your level with others or erase it. The law of empowerment. Secure leaders give power to others. Henry Ford carried out the vision to create a Model T car. By 1914, Ford was producing nearly 50% of all automobiles in the U.S. Ford's story was not about achievement, though. Henry Ford Model T, which he personally developed, was never changed or improved. One day, a group of designers surprised him and improved the model, but Ford ripped its doors off the hinges and proceeded to destroy the car with his own hands. Over almost 20 years, Ford Company offered only one design, the Model T. When he finally agreed to improve, the company was far behind its competitors, and the company kept shrinking in sales. Henry Ford was one to undermine his leaders. Why do leaders violate the law of empowerment? Well, sometimes the desire for job security. Some leaders don't like to share their experience or knowledge. They worry if it helps others, they will become replaceable. Or some resist change. Empowerment brings constant change because it encourages people to grow and innovate. Change is the price of progress. Or some lack of self-worth. Most people gain their personal value and esteem in their work or position. This threatens to change and threatens their self-worth. Sometimes that's all they have, and they all want to feel valued. Leading by lifting up others, which secure leaders are able to give themselves away. Great things can happen when you don't care who gets the credit, but taking a step further and believe the greatest things happen only when you give credit to others. That's the law of empowerment. So many other great topics to recommend: the law of respect, the law of sacrifice, legacy, buy-in, priorities, timing, and connection. These books shares history of past leaders and the success and failures within small and big organizations that we all can lean in and learn from moving forward, stepping into our career. I believe everyone can benefit from this book and to learn, and hopefully we can use some of the tools and resources to our family and our career life. This book is relevant to me and my interest in business management because it takes how we treat one another as an individual or a team building in relationships. No matter how small or large, managing an organization, it's still leaders' responsibility to carry through to success and pass the baton to the next generation. As we work together to build our organization, personnel determines the potential of the organization. Relationship determines the morale of the organization. Structure determines the size of the organization. Vision determines the direction of the organization. And leadership determines the success of the organization. Business culture changes constantly, and it's faster than ever before with competitive technology, always wanting to be better. Having the vision and leadership brings our team to the next level of staying competitive. Thank you so much for your time. And this concludes my book presentation. Have a great day.